From getting your start to surviving the first 6 months, welcome to Australian Mining for New Starters. And in today's video, we're going to go through what happens when somebody goes into the mining industry green as a new starter, so you don't know anything. But just first, I just want to say congratulations to Jack. If you come over to the Wall of Fame page, you see that he scored himself an Agi job underground in South Australia, so well done, Jack. Keep up the good work, mate. I'm sure you'll have a long and profitable career. Now, if we move over to why I'm doing this video is because the Kalgoorlie Miner did a good article this week about the labour shortages within the industry, and this concentrates on Red 5. Now, their production output, and at those rates, these guys aren't making any money, and it's like I've said before, if you don't have enough people to staff your mine, you can go broke in a boom, and that's what's happening to these guys at the moment. And they actually say further down in the article that the shortage of machine operators and truck drivers has meant that their contractor has been unable to increase the mining activities as they'd hoped. And so that's at Darlow Underground Gold Mine, and one of their open pits has been affected. Now, it's happening all over, and Santa Barbara's mine as well had to reduce their targets by 25,000 ounces over the next 12 months due to the same thing. Their underground mine, they just can't get enough people, and that slowed everything down. So why the employers gun shy on training people? Because unfortunately, when they take them in green, so you don't know anything, you've only got a 2 in 5 chance of making it past the first 6 months. So 3 out of every 5 people fail, and that's a long-term industry average, and that's why nobody really likes to train, because it's a very expensive task, it's very time consuming, and they go through a lot of people. So today I just wanted to outline what happens when you go in green. So when you go in green, you'll start off by doing your inductions, and so they'll be often in Perth if you fly in, fly out, or and then on site again. And so they'll be teaching you how the mine works, basically everything that's in the Intro to Underground Mining package, all the stuff in basic mine site operation, they'll be going through with you in the first couple of days. Now, at the end of each of these units that you do, they'll get you to sign a bit of paper saying that you've understood what you've learnt. And this is a big thing, because every time you sign a bit of paper that says that you've understood what you learnt, if you break the rule at any time in the future, then that can then become a sackable offence. And that's how they lose a lot of people, because people sign the bit of paper even though that they haven't really understood what they've said they've learnt. Most of it's straightforward, but there's a lot of information to go through, and they only give you a very limited time to do it, and they move you on because they want you in the seat as soon as possible. So once you finish that, you go into your on-site training. So once you do your inductions, you'll get buddied up with somebody, and they'll teach you how to drive the truck or the nipper job or off-siting or whatever it is that you're going to do on site. Now, this is also hit and miss for a lot of people, because sometimes it depends on just how good your buddy that you get is to teach you. If you get somebody that's switched on and can communicate, then you probably be all right. But unfortunately, those people are few and far between. Communication isn't necessarily the first skill that a lot of underground miners have got, unfortunately. So in this sense, that if it takes you some time to get yourself up to speed with your buddy, then that also can be an issue. Or if your buddy doesn't like you, that can be an issue as well. The whole point of what they're trying to do is to get you up to speed so you can work independently on your own and be safe underground. And you won't be able to ditch your buddy until you get passed out or you get ticketed on the machine that you're supposed to be able to operate. So for the truck, they won't let you go by yourself until you're fully ticketed. Sometimes, then again, they want you ticketed and up and running by yourself as soon as possible. The longer it takes you to find your feet, the more a chance that they're going to move you on, because if the buddy turns around and says this person's just not getting it, they're slow, they're just not picking it up, they'll cut their losses and they'll move on to the next person, unfortunately. It's like any other industry where they're starting you on 90 to 110,000 a year. They want you up and running as soon as possible. Once you get to the stage that you're working independently, hopefully that you've done that within the first couple of swings of being on site. So in your third or your fourth swing that you'll be driving the truck or you'll be nippering independently, then it's up to you to try and remember all the rules and not break any. Now, they also have issues at this point with people, like I said, making a silly mistake, breaking a rule. Unfortunately, if you make a silly mistake, sometimes that can mean your job. It's just the way it is. Any mistake that you make in that first 6 months, if it requires a warning or a written warning, it normally means it's a window seat. So you get people that have trained up all right, that have gotten into the job all right, but they just can't follow instruction, or they want to try and reinvent the wheel. So they want to constantly try and do the job in a different way that they've been shown. Those people are also let go as well. I hope from what I've outlined from the different levels going through, if you go through green with no experience, you can see how so many people fail along the way just because they're not prepared. And this is one of the major reasons why this training was written, and it is like it is. It gives you a total rundown of what you're getting yourself into, what the buddy should be telling you about the on-the-job training that you're going to get underground. So it goes into all the jobs in great detail. So it gives you that idea of what you're getting yourself into. So if you do get a bad buddy, then you can still make it work for yourself, as well as being able to work independently on your own. It goes into what to do and what not to do, and traps for young players. That's what I really wanted to talk about. The industry's going through a really hard time at the moment with not having enough people and trying to get people up to speed and into the workforce as quickly as they can. It's normally a 2 or 3 swing process to try and get a truck driver up to speed. If you're not getting up to speed in that time frame, then most companies look at cutting their losses and moving on, unfortunately. So I know it's not what everybody wants to hear, but it's how the industry works, and that's one of the reasons why the industry sort of snookered themselves into this corner where a lot of companies have put their hands in their ears and said, oh, we only want experienced people, and they rather than trying to train people up, they'll just leave the truck sitting empty and not going up and down, and you get ounce cost prices like that. At that price, Red 5's not making any money, or they're just barely breaking even. And that's, like I said, it's quite easy to go bankrupt in a boom if you can't get the experienced labour, or you can't get the bums in seats to get the gold up to the mill to mill it. So I hope you find that information helpful, and remember, the best thing that you can do to try and get in the industry is go in prepared, and to do that you can use the sponsors training. And if you can like and subscribe and share this information around. Thank you.